All right, welcome to Monday. Hello. Monday the 19th, I think, of April 2021. We're in Hancock Park. We're going to go take a look at the Brea tar pits. It's a great day. It feels like summer. It's going to be 90 degrees today. So we're just at the edge of the Hancock Park area where the Los Angeles County Museum of Art is. And you're looking at the new extension to the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences Museum. They own this space here on the corner. A historic building used to be the May Company, which we'll take a look at from across the street. But this big dome will be a part of the museum and a big theater up top. I think that's what we'll do is we'll go back across the street, take a look at this thing. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go back across the street. Let's take a look at this thing from the outside, and then we'll come inside. See where all the bones are buried. So right now we're on Fairfax Avenue and 6th Street. So I'm going to just go back to where I was, across the long way, and that way we can see the buildings from a distance, because they are beautiful. It's beautiful out today. I mean, the weather is great. I think the gimbal's a little off. I don't know why. Oh my god! That's my buddy. Another egg. Those red eggs are an art installation that an Instagram friend of mine does. He looks all over the city for these little eggs, little red eggs painted on the ground. So this is all part of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences Museum. And they're incredible. Golf ball shaped theater. Boy, would I like to work for this group. It'd be right up my alley. That is not the Oscar building. It's this is just museum stuff. And welcome. Good to see you here. Thank you for being here. No, this is this year the Academy Awards will be done at Union Station, but typically they come from a theater they have in Hollywood, which I was just by a few moments ago, and I thought maybe I should start my stream here, but I'll do that for you another time. Now the big structure off to the right hand side used to be a department store, May Company, and as we go around to the front you'll see how incredible that building really is. It's streamlined design, goes back to the 40s, 30s, excuse me. But this is just an unusual structure. Los Angeles is finally getting some amazing structures of nice architectural design. So you've got this building they call the Saban building, but it belongs to the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures. And you're going to see this great architectural detail as we walk around the front of this building. I'll also show you a little bit of the store that we're walking by right now. This is an old school diner. Not much to look at right now. I don't even think you can see it. But this is a film location now that was a diner for years. And because of the architectural style, the Googie style, it's been designated a landmark. But look at this thing. Dun dun dun. I love this. Again, so amazing to see Los Angeles get some really iconic architecture. You're looking at the Peterson Automotive Museum. The Peterson Automotive Museum. And that skin that they wrapped around it, it's like air flowing across the fin of a race car. There's a lot of construction happening around here right now, which I'll show you a little bit of, because they're building an extension to the subway station. And this will be one of the hubs, so it'll be a really important hub. But look at this. This iconic May Company. So beautiful. Just hold on this for a little bit. You've seen this destroyed in almost every disaster movie. It takes a pot shot at Los Angeles. You can really see it get worked over in an old, several decades old movie called Volcano. Pretty amazing, beautiful building. And it's just right here across the street from this iconic structure. The ultra new and the classic. And then you have Johnny's coffee shop and restaurant right across the street in that Googie style. Looks great at night when the lights are flickering. Not much to look at now, but that's where it's going to be. So I'm going to go back across the street here. I'm going to go take a look at an installation called Urban Light. Originally was supposed to be a temporary installation, but Los Angeles fell so in love with it, they let it stay up longer than planned, and then eventually it became a permanent installation. And the installation is comprised of the different street light designs the city had between a certain period of time. And don't quote me on this, but I think it's between the 30s and the 50s, 30s and the 40s, or it could be the 20s and the 40s. I'll let you decide when we take a look at them. Not a cloud in the sky. The skies are not cloudy all day. Amazing. Let's go take a look at Urban Light. I also have a little treat for my friend Lauren. My special guest today will be my friend Lauren. The reason why I'm here is because she invited me to be her guest at a trip to the museum. So I'm very excited about that. I don't know if they allow live streaming in there or using a gimbal. We'll see. So this construction site on your right there in the center of the screen, that's where the subway station is going to be, the Metro rail line station. But this is going to be a shocking view for me here coming up in a moment, because I didn't know this for years, but the Los Angeles County Museum of Art is a fairly new thing. It was built just a year or so before I was born. It was opened right about then. And I've been coming here since the place was new. And then in the late 70s, they got an idea to modernize it, build some new buildings. And it was made with that horrible 1980s design. And it was really an eyesore, but it lived for way too long. And they decided they were going to finally tear it down, modernize it, build a whole new structure. But in the process of this redevelopment, they tore down all the original buildings from the early 60s that I used to play around on. They were my friends. I come to the museum regularly every year, pretty much of my life, unless I was living somewhere else for a short period of time. But anyhow, I'd come here all the time. And right here where that empty space is, in the middle of the screen, that construction wall, ooh, just got a lump in my throat. That's where one of the huge buildings was. It housed the contemporary art, the modern art as they called it then. And there were sculptures and structures and the building itself, hand railings. Wow, I'm having a moment here. Wow, very emotional. This is where I used to come as a kid with my mom and my brother. I have such sharp memories of enjoying the art that was there and memories of the mid-century modern style. Wow. I'm all choked up. I wish my brother was here. He'd like this. Anyhow, this is Urban Light. And it's beautiful, even by day, but at night, when those lights go on, oh, goodness. Probably the most Instagram spot in Los Angeles. I'll walk through it for you. 202 restored cast iron street lamps. Urban Light is made possible by Willow Bay and Bob Iger. It's open 24 hours a day. Street lamps are one of the essential features of the urban landscape, and in the early 20th century were more than utilitarian objects that provided street lighting. In describing the work, the artist stated Urban Light is an artwork that I have created by amassing and restoring a huge collection of 1920s cast iron lamps from Los Angeles and its many adjacent cities. Street lamps are one of the fundamental building blocks of urban metropolis. The richly detailed flute lamps are an totem to industrialism and represent a form of public art. My artwork, Urban Light, is ultimately a statement about what constitutes civilized and sophisticated city. Safe after dark, beautiful to behold. By placing the 202 human scale lamps very close together and in long colonnades, I have usurped the lamp's function as a street light. Together they form a sculpture, which I call Urban Light. The viewer's experience of traversing through the tightly spaced fluted columns is an exalted one that recalls the marvel of seeing and walking through classic Greek Roman architecture and European cathedrals. The feelings of recollection and wonder transform the streetlights, day or night, into the sculpture Urban Light. It's really something. Fascinating patterns. Shall we shoot inside? See what happens. I have never been here with it so sparsely populated. I'm literally the only one inside of this thing, and that's the only time I've ever had that experience. That's what COVID time does. Closes all the museums, and when they open up, they're opened up by appointment only. So everybody has a chance to get their amazing shots of LA's iconic art. This is really something. This is a great treat for me. Local Angelino who loves the city so much, loves its artwork so much, doesn't get a chance to play in it so often without interruption. I'm just weaving around right now. But the architecture on these is really, or the design elements on these is really something. And just because I don't know if I'll be back this way, I'll share something else with you. I think it's kind of neat. A little bit of trivia before we go around to the Brea tar pits. Like I said, this is the spot where that building was that I loved so much. All gone. Walk over there if we can in a little bit, but for right now, I'll just take a picture from here. But there's some art across the way there. There's the construction site. But this is a little trivia fact that I just learned a few weeks ago. But what year that artwork that you see over there, I'm going to go into the shade. But this is a section of the Berlin Wall. It was torn down. There's a section of the Berlin Wall. Okay, nice. There's sections of Berlin Wall around the world. This is the largest section of the Berlin Wall outside of Berlin. Nowhere else in the world is there that much of a wall in one spot. Right there. How we got it? I don't know. I'll have to look that up. At least you got some shade.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be brutal right out there.
Yeah.
You know about that wall?
No. Want to tell me about it?
Yeah, it's a simple trivia I just learned. Can I put you on real fast? But this gentleman here is watching traffic for the construction site. But we're looking at the largest section of the Berlin Wall outside of Berlin from when they tore down the wall back in the 80s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so nowhere else. What they did when they broke that down, that was dividing the city in half for decades. They tore down the wall. Everybody started chopping it up, trying to take pieces and souvenirs, and the country was handing out pieces to different countries, different cities.
Yeah.
And how we ended up with the biggest piece, I don't know, but I'm glad we did. It's kind of wild.
So that's what those are?
Yeah, those are concrete panels that comprised a section of the Berlin Wall. That's the wall that for years people would try to climb over. It had razor wire on top. They got shot and killed for trying to escape. That would be like putting a concrete wall right between the city,
yeah,
and then saying, for the rest of your family's life that was over there when I put up the wall, that's where they live. You're going to be here forever, and that's that.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's neat. That's really neat.
Just Google the Berlin Wall.
Yeah.
It'll blow your mind.
Thank you, bro.
But that's a real historic piece you get to soak up there. Have a good day.
Thank you.
And that's that. I'm going to go back over here towards Urban Light. That way Lauren can find me. Oh, I was going to go look at the La Brea tar pits. I forgot the whole point. We have an appointment at 2:30 to go into the museum. So I thought, while I have a little extra time, we'll go to the tar pits real quick to take a peek. That's what we're going to do. I've lived here my whole life, and I didn't even know that was there. And I've seen it many times as I visited the area. I think that's true with most cities in the world. You know, there's always something more to explore, no matter how large or small the place is that you live. There's always something to explore. And by the way, this new construction is going to be a massive project. Not only will the building begin here, but it's also going to sweep across our heads, across the street, over to this area where the construction wall is. So the museum will actually straddle the La Brea tar pits. It will have a design that echoes the shape of the, sort of the kidney shape of the pools of asphalt that are the La Brea tar pits. So because it's construction time, not a lot to look at. Until we get around the other side of this wall. So you can enjoy the palm trees. I've got a lot of sunscreen on today. Bless you. Dog sneezing.
No, not really.
Ooh, that's the Japanese museum there. That's a beautiful structure. It's probably the best view we'll get of it today. And that's our entrance, or welcome to the Brea tar pits. I think there was a woman laying out in the sun there a minute ago. Tape. Lovely young lady in a blue bikini enjoying the sun at the La Brea tar pits. That's perfect. April. I'm getting a suntan in April. We're looking at one of the main pools. You can't see it very well right now, but soon. I'm gonna save shooting inside, but I really wanted to take a look at the main pool. Trapped in the tar. Poor things. After mom or dad. Such a dramatic sculpture. And the building in the distance there is the George Page Museum, which is a really terrific museum that really helps you understand the significance of the area, the pit itself. And it's not only do you get to see fossils that were pulled from the La Brea tar pits, the people working on them. We're here. And again, this is, granted it's a Monday, a work day for most people, but it's also still COVID time, so Not a lot of people out, which is good for us. But it's sad. I just love the song that bird was singing. So I thought I'd take a moment to enjoy this little beautiful spot. I'm going to pan around and you're going to see a spectacular view which probably won't read on camera like it does in real life, but this is something you don't get to see every day because usually there's a lot of smog or haze, but the wind is blowing so hard today it clears the skies. Now you're looking due west, so we're seeing the mastodons sculptures in the foreground, the Japanese museum in the midground, along with the dome of the theater being built for the Academy of Motion Pictures. And then you see a little bit of the Hollywood Hills, the end of the Hollywood Hills heading into the Pacific Palisades. So you actually get to see the last of the mountain range before it hits the ocean. Look at that. This is what you call a clear day. It is amazing. I could hold the camera here for an hour. Dramatic scene. A baby yelling after a parent. It's trapped. So for tens of thousands of years, natural asphalt has bubbled up through the earth and would create pools of oil. And as the oil lightly evaporated the lighter parts of it, it became a very thick tar. Plants and leaves would fall on it. Little rodents and smaller animals would get trapped in it. And the larger animals came to eat them, and they would get trapped in it. And tar bubbles up to this day. This particular pit was a mine that they were using when they discovered that asphalt could be mined from here. But over time it collapsed and became less useful to them and is now the main pool to illustrate what this area looked like once upon a time. And I will tell you the truth, it is just as exciting for me today as it was back then to see that oil bubbling up. Let me see if I can get my camera in there. I don't think I can. Nope. Let's see what we can see. There used to be an observation platform behind me that they took down, but let's go over here where we get another view. The Columbian mammoth sculptures installed here at the lake pit in 1968 reflect the interpretation of sculpture Howard Ball. Fossil studies and research at the Tar Pit Museum have since revealed much about these mammoths, how they lived and died. Our research keeps adding to our understanding of these and other fascinating Ice Age creatures. So you're looking at a picture from 1968. He's actually towing in one of the animals on a trailer from the back of his Volkswagen. Yee, Volkswagens. The Volkswagen can't do it, it don't need to be done. It's great. And this is the main pit. As you can see, I hope you can see that there's a lot of bubbling going on. So gas, asphalt still bubbling up, but not just here, throughout the park. So it's not uncommon for kids to get that sticky stuff all over them, their shoes, their hands, their clothes. Moms and dads have been cursed with cleaning that up for decades. So I never realized at the time that when I was coming here, all of this was just basically brand new. I thought it had been here for years. When you're a kid, you see a structure, you just assume it's been there forever. That's a new building. Beautiful. But the George Page Museum is newer than the 64, 65, 60, the late 60s stuff that was brought here. So I think this was erected in the late 70s. A terrific museum. The only instance of a human found here among all the fossils is a woman between 17 and 25 years old. Call her the Brea woman. The Brea woman appears to have been bludgeoned in the head. It was discovered that she also had a domestic dog that was by her. It was assumed that she was ritually given, and there's no polite way to say that. She was killed in a ritual, but they now think that the dog is too young to have been part of that, so it may have just been other decades of animals checking things out and just a coincidence that they're together. But they found evidence. The oldest stuff they pulled out of here is 38,000 years old. When you go through the park, you'll see these cones. Cones indicating that, yeah, you sprung a leak. We got a leaker. And they still bubble. You can see it. That bubbled right up through the cone, and dripping down the side. And this cone over here, wow. Fuel hazard's got nothing on me. That's amazing. Look at that thing. It's been bubbling and percolating, just making a mess. Oh my God, that's incredible. Oh, if I had my cameraman Louie, I'd say, Louie, look over here. Wow. I don't know if you can see that asphalt sparkling. Oh, that's great. Don't want to be too close to that. If it burps, it'd burp right up in your face. Oh my God. But that's what you have to contend with when you're walking around the park. How many times have I been here?
Beautiful apartment, beautiful building.
I guess this leaker was a little bit more permanent than the other ones. They erected a fence around it. Just imagine, for thousands of years, asphalt bubbling up. This is how a pit starts. Gets a little rainwater resting on top of it. Birds come to get a drink. They get stuck. Bigger animals come to get them. The saber-toothed cat, the great saber-toothed cat, is the famous fossil item that's found here. Lots of them, thousands of them. Also, ground sloths, and we're approaching a sculpture of one now. Can you imagine a sloth this big? That's twice as big as any bear. My brother and I used to climb all over these things as kids. Hello, Mr. Sloth. I probably shouldn't be walking through all this grass. You know I'm going to get tar on myself. There's a little tar creek. It's a beautiful little wooded area. And there's this little creek. The creek is a tar creek. Let's go up a little bit more so we can see it. There's a little tar creek. Let's see what happens when the pit gets a little bigger. This is pits 3, 4, 61, 67. These three pits are ages apart. Let's take a look. My goodness. How it works right there. Bubbles up. Get leaves all over it. Be an animal and get stuck in it. This is the step up. This is how it works. Little by little, they get bigger and bigger. We're coming up on La Brea Tar Pit Project 23. Just huge boxes and boxes of fossils. All of that tar has to be, all of those bones, very carefully. Idea what's inside those boxes. Box 9, 40 to 45,000 years ago. Box 13, 32,000 years ago. My goodness. Box 13. Holding 32,000-year-old remnants. This is pit 9. It's an example of a hidden trap. When excavators unearthed the giant leg bones from pit number 9 in between 1914 and 1915, they made a major find. Most of Brea's Columbian mammoth and American mastodon fossils came from this pit. See how the twigs and the leaves conceal the tar's sticky surface? One false step and this hidden trap could take down a 12-foot tall Columbian mammoth. You'd become a fossil too, stuck if no one was around to pull you out. Yep. Imagine that little space can take down a 12-foot tall Columbian mammoth. Let's take a look. Nobody working here today. Maybe they are, I just can't see them. But they're out here. Generally speaking. Oh yeah, somebody's here today working. So they've got a cast right there that's got a lot of bones in it, and they just get it out here and show you how it's done. And they do that also inside of the museum, so if you want to go to the museum and see this, somebody will sit there and do their job while you watch. That is field research right there, my friends, right in the center of Los Angeles. Ish. There's an observation pit over here. We'll take a look at that. This observation pit is also an item that goes back to my childhood. We'll take a look at that. And then we'll take a look at the outside of the building before we go inside. Do you have any idea what time it is?
Yeah, it's 2:11.
I'm not even paying attention. Thank you so
All right.
much.
You're enjoying the day.
Yeah, at least I'm not late to meet my friend. Woo!
There you go.
Saved my life.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good one.
Thank you. Well, the observation pit is closed today. I just love the mid-century modern layout of it. It's a circular design building. I just like the design of it. It's so cool. And it's got a ramp, spiral ramp around the perimeter of the pit, and you can look down inside of it, and it's really seeing a pit with all the garbage cleaned off the top and seeing all the bones and how they look. And I do have some old photographs of it, so what I'll do is I'll look for them for you and see if I can add them to a shorter form video. Love the design of it. The iron gate. The light portals. The design of the slats to mimic the brick design. Just everything about this is just great. Even the these little bars. Well, it keeps the aesthetic going. I'm guessing we had to buy tickets to see this back in the day. Well, there you go. I love that. I hope you did. It's a nice trip down memory gulch. Oh man. I might get some of the numbers wrong on this that I'm about to lay on you, but this is an amazing art installation called Levitated Mast. Now, don't quote me on the numbers here, but I think this is a 350-ton boulder that was mined, I think down in the Orange County region. And it was trucked here. Actually put on the back of a very special rig, and it took days and days for that to make its way here from Orange County. It was a big media sensation because it was a slow moving truck. So 350 tons. And you can walk under it. It's suspended by nothing but itself and the concrete retaining wall that you see there. So you are welcome to walk underneath that. We will later once we meet up with Lauren. And this is one of the newer buildings. This is part of the Eli Broad. I don't have the architect's name, but I feel bad about that because the layout of those air conditioning vents, the louvered ceiling. It's a beautiful design. So this is sort of the main entrance to the sort of a welcome pad into the museum. When weather's nice, they have in the before times they have concerts that play out here, cocktail parties, themed events, nice restaurant. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little walk around Hancock Park's the Brea tar pits. I think what I'll do is I'm going to wrap it up because I don't want to be late. Lauren has tickets for 2:30. It's about 2:15 right now. That's good. Oops. So I'm just going to wrap things up, but I wanted to get on camera for a second and say hello. Thanks for watching. Hope you had a good day. I did. Don't forget to click and subscribe. That would be pretty awesome if you felt inclined. If nothing else, at least give a like. That helps me out quite a bit. That would be awesome. And like, subscribe. You can find me on Instagram at Wonderstache. What else we got? You want to see the mustache? Let's take a look. Is it there? It's still there. Mustache is still there. Remember, folks, wherever you go,